Hi everyone, it's Eliana and I have a few cards to share with you today, but first I'm going to show you this really awesome colored pencil case. My friend Lydia showed it to me when I was at her house and I had to get one for myself. I really like it. It has 160 pencil slots. It's made by BTSKY and I ordered it from Amazon. And it'll hold all of your Prismacolors. There are 150 colors and this has 160 slots. Since I'm going to be using colored pencils, I'm going to use my Quiet Sharp. And I learned about this one from Sandy Alna. I like this pencil sharpener because once your pencil is sharp, you'll hear the motor wind down, so you'll know that your tip is sharp and that you can pull your pencil out. I'm going to start off with some pink cardstock, and this is Raspberry Fizz from Papertrey ink. It's this Raspberry Fizz is the exact same shade as the Stampin' Up! Melon Mambo. On camera it doesn't look too hot pink, but it's a really hot pink color, and it's my favorite color. And I'm stamping my image from Altenew's Best Mom stamp set. I've used this stamp quite a bit. And I just stamped it down with some jet black ink. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my colored pencil and I'm just going to fill in all of the image. I'm pressing firmly with my pencil, and because I press firmly, I have to sharpen it quite a bit. And what I learned is not to use my pinky to clear away the pencil dust because it will write on the rest of your cardstock, so you want to tap it off. And I'm trying not to cover the black lines because this is kind of a waxy pencil. When you go to overstamp it, the ink does not want to stick to the wax. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for now, I'm trying to just color it. And I actually think this piece that I'm coloring here is not even a leaf. Oh well. So I'm just filling everything in. And you don't have to be too careful. You just color it in so it's all completely white. And this is one where you can stamp several of these and just sit in front of your TV and watch a movie and just get them all done. You don't have to change colors, you just have to stay within the lines. I really enjoyed making this card, and once I was completely done, I thought about other stamp sets that I owned that I could do the same coloring with. And so at the end of the video, you will see different examples. And once I'm done coloring in at least a good portion of this card, I go back and I'm going to show you what I do with the pink color. I did get one other color, and the color is 929. It's just a pink. That's all that the colored pencil says. And I'm going to use that to color the center of the flowers and anywhere that I think that there should be a shadow. And so I'm just flicking my pencil. You don't have to be too exact. And you'll see why at the end, why I decided to do it this way. You just have to stick to the end. And once it's all completely done, I'm going to flick my card so I can get all the stray wax off. And I'm bringing back my MISTI. I left the stamp in place. And now I'm going to take some Stazon. I did freshly re-ink this. And this is sticky ink. And so when you go to stamp with it, you'll notice that your paper is going to peel. You have to basically peel off your paper from the ink because it's so sticky. And You will find that sometimes on your stamp you're going to have white on your stamp, so that's telling you that it's pulled off some of that wax, and so you might have to do this a couple of times. And if you have a little spot where the ink just will not stick to it because it's waxy, you can just use a Sharpie pen to color it in. Now I'm taking my sentiment from another Altenew stamp set, the Label Love, and I'm just using a scrap piece of white cardstock, and I'm just going to ink this up with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I was going to use my Lawn Fawn one, but I decided to use the Onyx Black. And I do that a couple of times because it is a solid stamp. And then I will trim this out. Just be careful because the ink does stay wet for a little bit because it is a pigment ink. Just be careful when you cut it out. And I'm taking a black Memento marker and I'm just going around the edges, and that just kind of makes it look finished. Don't have that white edge. And now I'm taking my score pal and I'm just taking a piece of black cardstock. I am using my Teflon bone folder. It doesn't leave a glossy finish when you brayer it down. My cardstock is cut down to 5.5 by 4, and I did trim it down a little bit too short, so I took my black base and I trimmed it just a tiny bit. I have a piece of fun foam that I've cut down slightly smaller than my panel, and I'm just adding some adhesive to the back, and this is just fun foam from the store. And I'm just covering the whole back of it. You can probably get by with strips of score tape, but I just, don't ask me why, I just decided to do it this way. I just wanted my card to stay together. Now I'm just pulling off the backer, and sometimes you have to work it into the foam because it doesn't want to stick to the foam, but once you get it started, it's fine. And I'm just going to put it on the edge so that I have a border closer to the fold of the card. And I just had to trim it down just a tiny bit. And I do have the foam, the sticky back up to the top because it's not as sticky as the Elizabeth Craft foam. And that allows me to pull it up when I figure out that my panel is upside down. I did use the corner of the MISTI to add my card front to it. It just let me get it nice and straight, so I just put the corner in there and then I butt up the card front to it, and then I can press it all down and then I know that it's straight and even. I'm just using some black foam adhesive to add on my sentiment. And then what I'll do is I'll position it about where I want it, but I'm not going to press it down all the way. I just kind of have it lightly tacked. I'm going to bring in my MISTI again, and I'm going to use the L square from my creative corners to make sure that my sentiment is straight. So I'm going to butt it up against the edge, and then I'm just going to push it up, and then once it touches my sentiment, then I can press it down and then I'll know it's straight. Now I'm going to add some Pretty Pink Posh sequins just to finish it off. And what I have learned is if I could look at the card straight down, it really helps. When I have my camera set up, I have it straight overhead, and my tablet could be used as a remote for my video. And so what I usually, when you see me reach across the screen to zoom in and zoom out, I'm actually using my tablet as a remote control. And so what I like to do is to place my sequence and look at the image, and you get a different perspective when you're looking straight down. So while you're making your card, if you're not sure where to put your sequence, you could get everything lined up and then take a picture with your phone and then look at it, and then you'll see whether you like how the sequence are positioned. So I just used my Crystal Katana to position my sequence and glued them down with some multi-matte medium. I'm just adding some Wink of Stella to the center of the flowers. And this is where you can take a little Sharpie and just color in anywhere that you didn't get a bold line. It's that wax that keeps the ink from sticking. And so here you can see how beautiful this looks. And here's one that I made as a thank you card. And here I'll show you the other cards that I made. This one I used the Altenew Wild Hibiscus stamp set. I did use some Nouveau shimmer, pink shimmer, for the centers of the flowers. And I used the, like I said, the Wild Hibiscus stamp set, and I used the Hello Gorgeous words from Honeybee for my hello. I just stacked up about 5 or 6 of the cardstock hellos to create one thick sentiment. And here's another one that I made using the Botanical Garden from Altenew, and the thanks is from Simon Says Stamp, and it's called the Painted Thanks. And here's the stamp set that I used. And I did add some Lucy Abrams pearls to it. I debated about putting some clear embellishment, and so I made a different one using that just so that I could see what it looked like. You'll see it in just a second. And so this is basically the same card, except I left the big flower off at the bottom, and I used the clear drops, and I used the Happiness stamp set from Honeybee for the birthday, and I used the birthday from the Mama Elephant set. It does come, those are 2 different sets in that one little envelope, but the happy is what I used. And then this is the Altenew Hello Lovely stamp set, and I just colored the whole thing. And so those are my cards for today, and I hope you enjoyed watching this technique. I did want to show you where I got this idea from. So as I was shopping, I found this hot pink blouse with the flowers were white, and I noticed that they used pink for the middle, and so I thought, well, I could do that with stamps. And so that's basically where I got my idea. So be sure to look around to see what's around you, and when you see something you like, just keep in mind why you like it so much. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bye.